This is me this morning, actually getting after it today, 5 a.m. Well, actually, I got up at 4:30. I was inspired by a friend of mine, Victoria Redstall. We actually did a recent podcast episode where we talked about what she's doing. She's been rescuing some animals. She rescued a dog out of Miami, and she rescued the dog hours before it was going to be euthanized. And I learned a lot about kill shelters and how they all work, and non-kill shelters, and how she goes about rescuing dogs and fostering them for other people, which I don't think I could do. I don't think I could foster dogs for anybody else. I get too attached to animals, which is why I don't have a dog and haven't had a dog since my wife and I fostered, really, my stepson, her son's lab that we ended up taking into our home at the dog's age was 8, a lab. And I never had a lab before, even as a kid. I had a boxer, we had a pointer, but we never had a lab. And labs are so wonderful, loving dogs. And boy, what a morning. Anyways, she inspired me. I lost my train of thought because I need more coffee. I lost my train of thought because Victoria is quite a character, and she is a character. I have to describe her as a little bit crazy like myself, but she's wondrous, a great citizen of the country, and I get inspired by her because she's very active in politics. She's active in being a journalist, and she's active in supporting the police. And so I'm at a wonder because of her activist activities. She was born in England, so she grew up in England with her mother and father and immigrated to the great United States of America with her parents over probably 40 years ago, and became a great citizen. And so I was inspired by her because she gets up now 4:30 a.m. and she's in the gym getting after it at 5 a.m. And about a year ago, I did a podcast on the 5 a.m. Club, which is a book by Robin Sharma. And a lot of the people who have gone on to greatness and done great things are people that are morning people. They get up early in the morning. And Robin Sharma's book, The 5 a.m. Club, and that's basically what, it's a fictitious story around people that is around a person who's at a self-improvement seminar, and he gets these young people from a couple different areas of life, and he motivates them and he mentors them to be early risers and how that can affect your life. If you haven't already, subscribed to the channel. Going live this morning, and well, anyways, that got me motivated to get back in the 5 a.m. club. So today, up at 4:30, and I have tennis this morning at 8 a.m. And we're in the dead of winter here in Florida. It's going to be it's like a snowstorm here in Florida. I mean, it's 60 degrees. And so we're looking for a chilly high of about 67, 68 degrees today. And believe me, I know that's not real cold. Growing up in upstate New York, man, and my mom is still there, that is real cold. Upstate New York is real cold. Let me know where you're at and if you're in the cold, but I don't like the cold. I like the heat of Florida. All right, thanks for joining. Hey, Tom, I'm glad you're chiming in. Having my coffee this morning, back at the 5 a.m. club, so I wanted to come on here live with you. That's one of my goals this 2026 coming up, doing more lives, because all of us are thirsty, not just for coffee in the morning, but for authenticity. Kind of hard to find with AI and everything that's being generated. Is this real? Is it not real? Hey, I'm real this morning, having my cup of coffee. Let me know if you're having your coffee. I love my coffee. I started my police career in 1978, working the midnight to 8 shift. That's why I've never really been a morning person. So when I'm joining the 5 a.m. club, it's kind of a stretch for me compared to how I lived my earlier life. and working the midnight to 8 shift, sleeping in the daytime, up all night. And I worked midnight to 8 a.m. in upstate New York in the rural roads of Livingston County, south of Rochester, New York. 5 years, I worked midnight to 8, and I never drank coffee. Never drank coffee. Midnight to 8. And I never really had trouble, working the midnight to 8 shift. And as a matter of fact, after 8 a.m., then I would go directly to the gym at 8 a.m. because I knew if I waited, no way, I'm going to bed. And when I get up in the afternoon, I would not be wanting to go to the gym. It's too crowded in the morning. Back in those days, back in the good old days of upstate New York. But then I went out to Los Angeles. I just had a desire to go to a big city police force. So I was applying to New York City, applying to Houston. At the time in the 80s, Houston was a boom town, just crazy. And they were hiring police officers right and left in Houston, Texas. Hey, thanks for checking in. Hey, give me a hi, everybody. Hey, Motor Mouth, good to see you here. Guava 79. Oh, I like some guava this morning. I could really use that. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. This is a community of progress here. I talk about self-improvement, personal growth, and all that kind of stuff. But I'm all over the board because my life's been all over the board. I don't know if yours has, but I've been a police officer 35 years, stand-up comedian 25 years, wrote a couple books, and been into podcasting. And I'm going live this morning with you. Want to connect with you, of course. Not a political channel, but you know what I'm learning from my friends who they're in it heavy. It is important, right, to pay attention to what's going on. But as far as our success, and we want to make an impact on those around us and have a positive impact on other people, it's not depending on who's in office, what party's in office, who's president. We can have a positive impact on other people regardless of what's going on in politics and around the world. But it is important, I think, to be self-aware, know what's going on. We can't have our head in the sand. That'd be pretty stupid. Hey, good morning. Thanks for checking in. If you haven't already, hey, I love it. Wow. I love to have a wow this morning. But anyways, getting back to my story of going to Los Angeles after working the night shift for 5 years, got out to California, joined the LA County Sheriff's Department. And when I ended up getting out into patrol, adjacent to Compton, California, Linwood, South Central LA, the gang wars of the 80s, the cocaine wars, got out there working the night shift for the LA Sheriff's Department. And our shift, I learned, all the police in California specifically, and I imagine around the whole country, there's a whole culture of coffee drinkers, specifically cops love coffee. Now, my dad and my uncle, who were police officers, they were big coffee drinkers. But growing up, I wasn't a coffee drinker. But man, I got to LA and man, we had to meet for our coffee. It was a cultural thing to take our break, to meet and have our cups of coffee right on the hood of our police cars and discuss the shift and things that were going on, not only in police, but around the world. And from that day forward, that was back in when I went first to patrol in LA County, it was 1987. And is that a long time ago? Hey, good morning. Say hi in the chat. Let me know where you are, where you're from. Dennis Tinsman. Oh, thanks to hook up. Hey, Dennis, how are you? Dennis was someone who was affected by my dad, who was chief of police in my small town. Village of Caledonia, upstate New York. Does anybody know where those boonies are? Good morning. Coffee cowboy. Yeah, let's have our coffee. Let's get after it this morning. I'm excited. I got a new podcast that's going to be coming out. It's called Lion-Hearted Blue Police Podcast. I think I had to do it. I had to do it because a lot of the people that I'm connected with and the culture that I've grown up around, they're police officers. And a lot of my cop friends are not really interested in personal growth, self-improvement, psychology, how to live a better life. But I wanted to serve that community, this community of police officers and those who are interested in law enforcement. And so the Lion-Hearted Blue podcast is the name. And so I just did my first episode with retired Monroe County Sheriff Tom Basile. And that's going to drop tonight. You're going to like it, and I'll tell you why. This is Tom Vasile, a great friend of mine for over 40 years now, and he started working as a cop under my father right back in 1978. And 2 years ago, it's been an anniversary. I'm thinking of his anniversary. It's just amazing. 2 years anniversary of his new heart. He had a heart transplant. He had heart failure. Ended up going to New York City to have a heart transplant. If he didn't have one, he was going to be gone. He's a good Christian of good faith. And he's been a mentor of mine. And now he's a police chaplain. He's still serving. He's not 10-7, which means out of service in the police lingo. But he's still in service. I'm in Florida now. I'm on the Space Coast in Florida. Let me know where you're at. I'm on the Space Coast of Florida, which is on the east side of Florida, almost directly east of Orlando, but about 30 miles south. So between Cocoa Beach, if you know where that is, the home of Kelly Slater, the famous surfer, Cocoa Beach, kind of a great little tourist town. And so I'm between the Cocoa Beach, the Space Force, really, and Melbourne Beach. It's really kind of a quiet area. The traffic is not bad here compared to what my friends tell me on the west coast of Florida around Fort Myers and Sarasota. And they tell me when the snowbirds come down, it's crazy. The traffic's nuts. We can't drive around. But the traffic is really, even during snowbird season, it's not that bad. So down here in Florida, but I lived in California for over 35 years. And I had a great time working for the LA County Sheriff's Department and doing stand-up comedy. And worked numerous fantastic places in California. Back in California, it was such an amazing place to live, and made a good salary out there as a police officer. They pay very well in California. They really have to. My friends out there are still paying $5 plus a gallon for their gas. I don't know how a lot of them still live there. It's crazy, crazy bad. Yep. Well, we have two places. We have a place on the beach, right on the sand, which there's no way we can never afford to live on the beach in California. We were 40 miles in from the beach in California. And my wife, we always wanted to have a beach house and live on the beach. Wasn't going to happen in California. Multi-million dollars wasn't even going to cut it there. But in Florida, when we moved out here 5 years ago during the pandemic, $450,000, $500,000, you could get a place right on the sand. We got a condo right on the beach for, at the time it was $580,000, right on the beach. And the interest rate at the time, right, 2020, 3.5 something. And so there we were, dreams come true. Hey, how are you, Jordan? Hey. Good to talk to you. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Am I going to do the impression? What impression? I don't do impressions. Hey, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I'm going live today vertically, in the vertical mode in YouTube. I know people jump in and out of the shorts feed, which is good. I gather a new audience. And so I'm a community of progress here. I'm really into positivity, self-improvement, personal growth, but I'm also paying attention to American culture, and I pay attention to politics and what's going on because it does affect us. And now I'm into all the new media, right? People are their own media. We can be our own radio station, and I follow several different people in different realms, but it's interesting to get those different perspectives. And now, wow, freedom of speech in a whole new way. And if you're of my age, then you know there was a time when there was too many gatekeepers. You couldn't broadcast to the world yourself, right? You couldn't write a book yourself and put it out into the world. And now there are no more gatekeepers. So we should take advantage of our freedoms here, and in a positive way. That's what we're about here. And so that's what I'm about this morning. I'm back in the 5 a.m. club, getting back up early, having my coffee, talking about my first episode that's dropping tonight on the Lion-Hearted Blue Police Podcast, because I want to serve my police community. But of course, anybody can look in and watch in. And it's with my good buddy Tom Vasile from upstate New York, retired Monroe County Sheriff Sergeant, who's now a police chaplain. So I learned all about these police chaplains and what they do. I mean, they provide a great service, not just to the people in the community in times of great distress at these crime scenes or any tragedy, but they also help the police. And now he does a great job in getting the police, to have knowledge of what they actually do. The regular cops on the beat. Hey, listen, we're here to provide a service to help you. We're on the scene. They're not there to be preachers, but they are God's servants still. And so the regular cops learn they can use them as a resource to console families during murder scenes or, violent crime incidences. And then they can also pray with the officers if they want to, if they have a choice to do so. But Tom, what a great warrior. The things that he went through to get a heart transplant, facing death on a daily basis for quite a while there. And he had to maintain his faith. And God sent many faithful warriors into his hospital room in New York City at the time. And people would read the Bible with him, but he's back serving there in Rochester, New York. And my mom still lives. I would never live there again in Rochester, New York. Oh my God. I mean, just the overcast, months, winter months in upstate New York. It is depressing, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to get the hell out of there many years ago. 1983 is when I left for Los Angeles. And so thankful for the great experiences and friends and family that I gained by going out there to California. Thanks for checking in, everybody. Ephesians chapter 2, someone's chiming in here, right? For by grace ye are saved through faith, and that of not of yourselves. That's correct, boy. It is the gift of God, not of works. That's right. We can't do works to be saved, lest any man should boast. Thank you. Light into the world, that whosoever believeth on me should not abide. Thank you for the Bible passages this morning, everybody. I really appreciate it. We have to do that as Christians. Really, we have to don't put a lampshade over our light. Right? We need to be a beacon, and that's what America is—a beacon for the world. And so, I was in the Word this morning. I am reading the Bible every morning. And so somebody was talking about Ephesians, right? And our church is into Ephesians 6, right? Putting on the full armor of God every day, right? When Paul, now listen, I'm not a pastor, but we are called to be a ministry for other people, and don't hide your light under a basket. Let it shine. But somebody quoted Ephesians, right, which was written by Paul, and where he was in prison when he wrote that in Ephesians 6. He was in prison and he was watching the guards get dressed, the Roman guards get dressed, and he used the metaphor that every day we have to put on the full armor of God. So by watching the Roman soldiers put on, their battle gear, he equated that with us putting on the full armor of God every day so that we may take our stand against the wiles of the devil. And so he equated that with putting on the belt of truth, right? And then be fitted with the breastplate of righteousness. Have our feet, fully stable on the ground, shod feet. And to put on that helmet of salvation, right? Protect our thoughts, right? The negative thoughts of the devil that wants to get in our brain. If you have the devil in your life, you've allowed him to get in. So in Jesus' name, get them out and then pick up the shield of faith, right? The shield of faith and the sword of the Word of God. Absolutely. Hey, so thank you for sharing Ephesians. I think that's so great. And I'm not a pastor, but I have been in the Word every day in the morning for about 5 years now. So it served me well. And I love that verse that you just shared in Ephesians, right? That we have to, we're saved by the grace of God, his gift to us, right? We can't do it by works, but if you are someone of faith, you will have works and you will be known by your good works. But we don't do it to be saved. You can't work your way into it. It's given to you as a freely by a gift. All we have to do is comply and accept the gift. Submit. Submission's important, everybody. Thank you for those prayers this morning. If you haven't already, listen, subscribe to the channel. You're going to love the content. It's all positivity. It's personal growth, self-improvement, and not always the most popular thing, right? Sometimes, like all of us humans, right, I get caught up in the numbers as a creator. You know, you want to have more numbers. You want to have a broader reach to people, and you get caught up in the numbers, and it's so easy nowadays. If you can fire people up with negativity, you're going to get a lot of numbers. Actually, it's the haters who really help your channel, because the haters are really quick to leave a comment, negativity-wise, and to snipe at you from their keyboard in the basement. And so, if you put out incendiary things, people get pissed off, get angry, and boy, they're inspired to take action and fire at you. So there's a tendency, there could be, as a creator, there's a tendency to kind of want to go there, because firing up people with anger and controversial subjects, it'll get more engagement rather than something that's of a positive nature, right? The news, they already know about that, right? They know if it bleeds, it leads. And I mean, that's their job, to get eyes on their platform. And there's such a competition for our attention nowadays. And boy, don't we have to we have to guard our minds, and we have to guard our hearts against everybody that's trying to vie for our attention. I'm vying for your attention this morning in a positive way to encourage you. Let's make this a great day, regardless of what's going on in the world, even though we should pay attention to what's going on in the world. And I bring that up for a couple different reasons. I was talking to a friend of mine at the tennis club, a great guy from New York City originally, and he's enjoying himself out here. But I was talking about some current event issues, and he had no idea what I was talking about. And so he's one of those guys. He's enjoying life. He's a good guy. He's been very supportive of me and some of my challenges lately. But boy, he's not paying attention to what's going on in the world, that's for sure. But you know what? That's what's nice about paying attention and being informed, self-aware of what's going on. In conversation, you can share that with other people and maybe give them insight. And it reminds me, when I'm around people of an opposite viewpoint, and instead of being divided, I try to inquire, what they believe and why they believe it, right? Hey, thanks for checking in. Hey, thumbs up. Hey, unmetered favor. Oh, I love that. I'm going to use that today. We have unmetered favor. I love it. Thank you, man. Thank you, everybody. Wow. You know what? As much as, I think someone quoted one of the philosophers, I think it was Aristotle, who said, if you don't want to be attacked or criticized or made fun of or have anybody go against you, you know what? Don't get out of bed. Don't put yourself out there. Don't walk out your front door, because it's going to happen. And it's funny how that we can really be sensitive to negativity or an attack from, it's going to happen, right? Well, Jesus even said, hey, they persecuted me. What do you think? They're not going to persecute you? And so I'm reminded of even in my comedy days, stand-up comedy, and I'm thinking of a movie by Billy Crystal that surrounded a comedian. And he talked about this. And as a comedian, you really deal with this, where you can be performing for 500 people, beautiful crowd, laughing. One person in the second row, first row, never cracking a smile. We get focused on that one person, even though 499 other people are cracking up. They love our comedy. They're enjoying the night. But that one person sticks out. How come we can't get to that one person? But you know what? We never know what's going on with somebody. And so we need not be so concerned with the one who maybe needs a positive push. And so, hey, that's our purpose. That's the purpose of my channel. I'm going to continue on, and I fight whenever I have that pull and that draw to maybe, fire people up with some incendiary subjects. I resist that and remember what my purpose and mission is, and so I stay on the path. And just when I might get pulled in that direction, I always get a comment, a call, or a text message from somebody that I never expect that says, hey, Cliff, you know what you talked about the other day? That reminded me, that inspired me, that encouraged me to do this and that. And man, does that touch me right here. It's worth $1 million. I don't know why, but it does mean a lot. And I got in this self-improvement, personal growth game over 35 years in Los Angeles. Man, even though I had a lot to be thankful for, working for the LA County Sheriff's Department, I got drawn into, I created in my own life really a bed of negativity. I made that bed and I got into it. And, I got into victimhood big time. But you know what happens? Anger, frustration. What does it create? It creates a lot of energy, right? Go down the road today and wave at people. You're not going to get much of a response probably. Hey, give everybody the finger. Watch them. They'll chase you down past their exit. You can fire people up with a little negativity. Just give them the finger. No, don't do that. It might cause some. I don't want it to cause any road rage and get yourself killed. So don't do that. But what I'm saying is negativity, anger. If you find yourself frustrated, you find yourself with a lot of energy. So I found myself over 35 years, a lot of energy. I was the victim, frustrated, angered, and I said, I'll show them. I'm leaving this damn career. I don't need to work here no more. I'm going to get my real estate license. I'm going to make as much money as I want to. I'm going to have total control. And I got my real estate license in California. And in so doing, is that proper English? Of course not. In so doing, my broker, he sent me to sales training. And that's where I first got introduced to Jim Rohn. I actually saw Jim Rohn live. That's the first person that Tony Robbins worked for. And, it turns out that really wasn't sales training at all. It was really person training. It was in training in communication to be a better communicator, to focus on more important things in life than what I had been frustrated and angry with. But listen, that anger, frustration, it got me to the seminar. And I took in the seminar and I took in the notes. And so then I started to change. And then all of a sudden, things began to change for me in the Sheriff's Department. I had been hell-bent on leaving, based on my frustration and anger. Got into the seminar. I started to change. And then my career started to change. And then next thing you know, I was promoted to sergeant. And my relationships began to build. And then my stand-up comedy career actually began to take off also. So at the time I was cop by day, comedian by night. And so regardless of what I was dealing with in my police career, and believe me, as cops, we are on a daily basis. It's chronic. Even if you're handling it well, it's chronic stress, right? You're always being called to tragic, emergent situations. And all those, no one calls you, for Thanksgiving dinner. Hey, come on over and stop by. Everything is great. We just want a cop to come by and stop and see us. Those things do happen, but that's not really what we're out there for. We're out there to be servants in times of need and danger. And so we are always on the front line of tragedy, whether people are killed by gunshots, car accidents, suicide, old age. All of those people are going to call us. We're going to be the first to come to death always. And, you get in the habit of just handling it, using dark humor to get through times. And most of the times we just don't acknowledge it, or maybe we acknowledge it later, or it just sits with us until we're retired. Now, I had grown up as a kid, always working out, trying to get bigger, trying to get over my skinniness. And so I got into lifting weights at an early age, 15 or 16. I continued that through my police career, and I think that served me well in not getting into too much into alcoholism, using alcohol to deal with chronic stress, or I did drink in a social level, and to excess at times in my younger years, which was not the proper choice. Today I still do. I drink socially. Hey, I want to say, hey, take care. Yeah, hey, thanks. That's right, Cowboy Coffee. Hey, God bless you. Have a great day, brother. Thanks for checking in. Hey, I hope you're on your path to self-improvement. We can always get to that next level, can't we? All right, today, everybody, I'm going to be heading out here soon to playing tennis today. If you haven't already, play at something that you enjoy. I don't give a shit what it is. Just get out there and do it. Get moving. I found out in my health coaching certification, and I found out that I was pretty consistent on getting my workouts in, but a lot of times I would get my workout in, and then the rest of the day I wasn't too active. That's not the worst thing that you could do, get your workouts in, but it isn't really the most healthful way to live, is just to do your 45 minutes to an hour in the gym, and then you're sitting the rest of your day. So it's more importantly to move throughout the day. You don't have to do a lot. I mean, if you worked out, if you did some resistance training 3 days a week, 3 days a week, 3 days a week, 3 days a week. If you did 3 days a week of just some resistance training, even if you didn't go to the gym, you just did push-ups or some kind of body weight exercises, your health, you would double. You would get so healthy just by 3 days a week, 20 to 30 minutes a day of resistance of some kind. And then, you know what? Add in some walking. Finally realized later in life, and I hated to run anyways, I'm a crappy runner. My wife was pigeon-toed, so she runs fast. I am duck-footed, so we don't run very efficiently if you're a duck-footer like myself. But so walking really is the best exercise. Hey, Ivan, thanks for checking in. Glory to God. All glory to God. As a matter of fact, I've been, maybe that's why God has given me so many challenges this past year. And as I'm learning in the Word, in the Bible, as I'm learning, God will really put you to the test. And I've never wavered in my faith. But I have been praying on a daily basis, several times a day for the past 6 months. 6 months. Probably God is saying to me, I hear a quiet voice in my head saying, yeah, if I didn't put you through these tests, you wouldn't be praying at all. But now you have come to me. And so now I have a great relationship with you because you've been put to the test. And so maybe sometimes we do need the test. But man, thank you everybody for checking in today. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I wanted to go live this morning. I was watching one of my guys that I follow, Brian Craig here in Florida. He's a political guy. But yeah, this guy is up every day at the latest 3:30, 4 o'clock. And so he was part of my inspiration, besides one of my friends, to get right back into the 5 a.m. club. And let me tell you something. If you get up at 5 a.m. for a couple days, you're going to have no insomnia. You will have no problem getting to sleep on that second or third day of getting up at 5 a.m. So hey, join the 5 a.m. club with me. I'm gonna continue on one day at a time. Just take that first step. And like anything in our life, right? Hey, I don't know about, if you wanted to drive across country, and I love metaphors. If you were going to drive across country, your headlights only go about, let's say, 100 feet. But you know what? It'll get you 3,000 miles across the country, those two headlights. So all we need to worry about is the steps right in front of us, what we need to do today, right now. And that's what I am focusing on. Hey, thanks for checking in. Oh, from all over the country. I appreciate you. Hey, subscribe to the channel. It's a community of progress here. I have 2 podcasts now. I just created a second one for my police community. You don't have to be a cop to listen in and watch. It's going to be available on all the podcast platforms, but it's going to be the name of the podcast. I have to think about it, right? Because it's brand new. It's Lion-Hearted Blue Police Podcast. I had taken a survey with a bunch of great names, but man, you'd be surprised how many names were already taken by other podcasts or things that were closely related. And so I wanted something that was very unique, and Lion-Hearted Blue was not taken in the podcast world. And also I bought quickly lionheartedblue.com. And so I'm going to be having a lot of police guests, police-themed content, and along with my regular stuff. So, man, join in and be a part of this journey. I don't know why. I don't know. I think I've always been driven, but now in the past 35 years, I've been driven in a positive way, which sometimes is a battle, but you know what? It's worth the fight. All right? I know everybody wants to get to that next level, whether they admit it or not. So don't get caught up in the circumstances. Get caught up in your purpose, in life's purpose. And if you can still fog up a mirror, you're still in the game, baby. I am telling you. So I'm off in a few. Hey, thank you, brother. My best poop story. You probably are talking about my best police story, but you know what? I actually have a poop story for you. The stupidest police poop story that there is. I was working Livingston County Sheriff's Department in upstate New York. I was actually on the East Lake Road around Canisius Lake, one of the Finger Lakes. And I was in my Livingston County Sheriff's car, and I was talking to a New York State trooper, and it was about 5:30 in the morning. Just about this time in the morning. This is probably 40 years ago. And all of a sudden, one of our sheriff's cars goes right by me on the East Lake Road, lights and siren. Woo, 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 right? What that? There were no calls, right? I talked to my state trooper friend who's on a different frequency, and I go, do you have a call? Is there an accident? And I go, I have nothing. And so I pulled right out, put on my red lights, and started following my other sheriff's deputy wherever he was going. I saw no cars that he was chasing, and so the stupidest damn thing. And so he pulled into the boat ramp of Canisius Lake, jumped out of his sheriff's car, and he ran into the public restroom. And I ran in behind him. I think Mike Doobie, his name was Mike. Hey, Mike, what's going on? And he says, I had to get here quick. I had to take a pressure shit. What? Oh my God. Anyways, you reminded me of a poop story. I think you wanted to know my best police story, but you said poop in the comment, and that reminded me of my poop story from 40 years ago. So thank you for reminding me of that funny poop story. And that deputy is still alive, and the state trooper is still alive. And that state trooper who I have been talking to, actually, he lives on the west coast of Florida. Gene Chisholm was an amazing state trooper. And so I don't think he's listening, so I can mention his name. But I'm off to play tennis. Play is something, you know, I think it was a Harvard study, right? That they use it on the billboard at the tennis club, that if you play tennis, it adds 9.7 years to your life. But I think the study revealed that any kind of paddle sport will add years to your life. And I know for tennis, it's a lot of fun. I haven't tried pickleball yet, but I'm going to try it. A lot of tennis players don't like pickleball. I don't really like it either, because in my mind, it's because you can't move too well. Hey, if you can't move, go play golf. But I can still run around. I have no pain. God had blessed me with a painless body so far, but I'm still young. I'm only 68 years old. So maybe when I get older, maybe in the later years when I hit midlife, you know, then I'll have some aches and pains. But until then, we're going to live with passion. We're going to live with purpose. And we're going to have a positive impact on other people. And we are going to keep up the fight, everybody. You know I love you. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. And it's all about a community of progress here. And I was happy that I was able to get on here with you now that I'm back in the 5 a.m. club. And, it wasn't that hard this morning. I actually got to sleep pretty early last night. I put on a podcast around 10. I know I was asleep by 10:45, and so up at 4:30. And so I know one thing for sure, that's going to get me to sleep tonight, right? All right, so I'm off to tennis, and then I'm off to the gym after that. So I'm going to get after it today. I want you to do the same. Get out there in the world. Don't put your light under a barrel, right? Let's be a beacon of positivity. In a world that has that's fallen, that has negativity in it, we're going to do our part. We are warriors, everybody. Be lion-hearted, brave and courageous. You don't have to be a cop to be lion-hearted. We can be lion-hearted American citizens and have a positive impact on other people. I'm going to do it today with purpose. You can do the same. All right, everybody. I'll see you in the next video. I know I'll see you there. I love you.